What's up, guys? You're Opto Music. I'm here with Fazbreak, and I'm here with with Rodney Darkchild Jerkins, bro. Like, this is crazy.
Hey, man. Glad to be here.
Appreciate you for taking the time, honestly.
Hang out with my Fazbreak crew.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know, man. It's crazy. I mean, being a person of such high caliber in the sense of what you've accomplished as a producer, business person, just overall creative, and taking the time to appreciate, a subgenre, like a small community such as CHH is a very astounding thing that I think a lot of people don't even realize or don't even know. So talk to us a little bit how, like, you found the space, or were you always in the space? Because that's a mystery right now.
You know what? It's just full circle for me. Like, when I was 12, 13 years old, I was rapping in the church.
Oh, wow.
And there was projects like, there was a gospel group called Dawkins. They were assigned to Fred Hammond from Commission, and I rapped on their first project. I rapped on a song called Wonder Why. Later on, I produced Kirk Franklin, I think in like 98 or something. I did a song called Revolution, which Lecrae redid, kind of sampled it. But I did the original Revolution, and I rapped on that record. Yeah. I was in the video, the whole nine, and numerous of other gospel records, had my own little independent project out. So this is just full circle for me to embrace the community of CHH. My kids love it. You know? It's funny when you get older, your kids start to teach you.
For real.
Right? And so my kids are big fans of so many CHH artists. And I discovered some of my own, but they put me on to so many. Like, Dad, you got to check out so-and-so. He's fire. Dad, you got to hear her. She's dope. So it's just like almost every Friday, New Music Friday, right? Every Friday, I go in my son's room and you can just hear it blaring and the sound for like 5 hours straight. You just hear everything. Awesome. And it just put me on to different things that I gravitate towards now. And it's funny, living in Florida, we have a great CHH station, actually. Yeah. 95.9 in Orlando. It's like all day, every day. So we just listen to it all the time.
That's awesome. I mean, your kids are basically your A&Rs right there.
My son is definitely, my oldest son, RJ, is definitely taking that role for me. Like, just he's like an A&R for sure.
That's got to be surreal. I mean, talk to us a little about, like, which was the first artist that you heard in CHH that was like, okay, this space has potential. And the fact that you having that platform and, being able to use yourself as a resource, which artist brought you in and was like, okay.
I mean, I've known Lecrae. We've known each other. So I've always loved his music. And I think the artist that kind of really got me listening a little bit more is probably Hulvey. Mm-hmm. When I heard Hulvey for the first time, I felt like I felt his heart through his music. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't just another rapper. It wasn't just another hip-hop song. Yeah. It just wasn't that. It felt like I could really hear his heart, coming through his music. And that kind of really just, I guess, it brought me closer, right? And, it made me want to just be a resource and be here, be a person that can bring some of my resources, some of my knowledge, some of my wisdom to some of these guys. A lot of these guys just call me up. Yeah. We all have personal relationships. I give them my number, and they just call me up and ask me questions. What do you think about this? I seen Hulvey yesterday, and he's just like, I need your advice on something. I need your wisdom on something. And, and I'm like, okay, cool, whatever you need, So, I've kind of been somewhat pulled into the space somewhat as like a mentor. I mean, not forget like John Keith. Like, John Keith is just like, he's just super dope. Like, he's been to my home in LA. Like,
wow.
Like I invited him to my home and just to hang out. Like, he's just a cool dude, and he's another one, just asks a lot of great questions, and he runs music past me before it comes out. What do you think about this? Da, da, da. I love that. I love when people share their art.
For sure.
And and ask me what I think, and I just think it's a blessing, I guess, to be here and to be part of the experience and to see how it's impacting so many young lives.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, you've had so much success in the mainstream side. Like you produced for Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Justin Bieber, Lady Gaga, Brandy, like so many people. What do you think is the biggest difference, working like in that area of mainstream and working in the CHH space as a mentor, and like what you've seen, like the differences and walking that line?
It's very different. It's very, very, very different. I think in the mainstream first, in the mainstream space rather, it's pretty much about the individual, right? And in the CHH space, it's more about the team, the crews.
Yeah.
Right, like people have like a crew, and so the one thing that I'm just like noticing or talking to different people about is really pushing themselves to make sure that the quality of the content is at its best.
Yes.
Like, don't settle for it.
Yes.
Like, make sure you listen to some of the greatest things that may be working in top 40 or hot 100 on Billboard, and then kind of take your record and A and B it to that, and see if it stands up. See if the quality of it stands up. See if it's, and if you don't know that, then make sure you have someone on your team.
For sure.
Your own personal person that like has the ears to be like, nah, man, the 808 ain't right. Yeah. Nah, the sonic space of this is complete. Like, we need panning going on. We need this, and our mic is just not the right microphone for the voice. Like, I hear it. I help so many people with that. I remember calling Alex Jean and Caleb Gordon, who are friends of mine now. They are also young kids that been to my house, right? And just helping them and just kind of helping them navigate through a lot of things, but telling them like, yo, you got to get your quality better on your mic. Like, you have to work on the right vocal chain that fits your voice, because you could put out records every couple of weeks and it could sound good to you, it could sound good to your fan base, but then if it's not standing up against something that's out there in the market, right, then the market is not going to pay attention to you. For sure. And that's important. Like, you just want to know that, you're doing God's work, it should be the best. For sure.
100%. Man, because as a producer, you come across so many artists, so much different talent. What do you look for in an artist that that approaches you, or just wants to show off their work? What is something you look for? They're like, what, if they're dope and whatnot, but like that's quality is the biggest thing, I guess. But what else are you looking for? They're like, what, I want to invest myself into you. What does that look like?
I'm always looking for whatever. Like, I'm always looking for something new, and what's going to be different about them, what's going to stand out, what's their tone, what's their unique sound that's standing out. How can they, enter the space and do well in the space if they're not already in it? What is it to be better? Like, what does it take to be even better? So it's just all those different things. I'm looking at how I can help. To be honest, like, if it's something that I hear that I think is good and that has the potential to be great, can I help it get there? If there's something that's great, how can I take it to the next place?
Level. Awesome,
right? And if it's something that's, if it's something that's lacking. What can I say, or how can I, be a help to whatever's lacking? And that's in all. That's not in just in the creative sensibility. That's in anything, business, whatever it is. Whatever I feel like, you might not understand publishing. Yeah. Let me explain it to you. Yeah. You may not understand what a 360 deal is. Let me explain it to you. Yeah. You might think you own your masters, but you don't. Let me explain it to you. All those different things. Or maybe you should do a licensing deal, because that might be down the road might be better for you. Yeah. So it's just those little things, like, people will call me, do you think I need a manager? Do you think I need an agent? Like, all these different things. I might, but maybe it's not now. Yeah. Maybe like focus on getting your numbers up a little bit more, and then so whatever.
That's awesome. Before we get to the a bit more fun questions, one last question for all our audience that are independent artists. What advice would you give to them?
I would say, I always tell artists, individuals, try to have your own little team. Like find someone in your community that rocks with you and bring them a part of your team and create a team, like, so you know, like you're bouncing ideas off of your team and so you're not so focused on the numbers so much that you can't be focused on the creative.
For sure.
Because I see that happening a lot where, you know, you got artists that are studying the algorithm, trying to figure out how to get their streams to a certain number, worried about what their Instagram followers are, worried about what their Spotify followers are. And I'm like, you need to just be creative.
Yeah.
Like if you can just be in the studio creating all the time and let someone else deal with that, you'll be good.
Yeah.
You know, like that's that. You know, I just feel like that's what I tell most independents. Like, try to create your own little tribe.
For sure. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some like fun questions. As a producer myself, this is like questions that I've been like, you know. What DAW do you use?
Logic Pro.
Logic gang. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. I get this asked a lot. This question asked a lot. Like people ask me like, oh, like you use Logic? Like, what drew you to Logic? Like, why in FL Studio or Pro Tools? These producer, like industry standard is Pro Tools. Producer for hip hop, especially is FL Studio. Why Logic?
You know, I've pretty much touched everything. Like I've touched Ableton, I've touched FL, I've touched it all. But it was like when I got to touch Logic, it was very logical. It was very,
bars.
There was a reason why. You know, it worked for me. It was simple. I navigated through it really well. I'm also old MPC head. It worked well with my MPC, and and I've grown to like it. I've also grown a relationship with the team at Logic. Yeah. So they adjust things for me when I say I think this could be better. They work on it, you know, which is great. That I love the fact that, you know, they have that call and response.
Awesome.
You know, so. And we got ideas, you know, in the future. Hopefully we'll do things with them in the future to even make it even better.
That's awesome. Logic, if you're watching this, like people who run at Logic Pro X, you know, please add ghost notes if you can in the piano roll. That'd be crazy. That'd be great.
Because we want what we used to be the best, right? So it's like it's important for us to have that communication, that open communication,
for sure,
with the people that created, and it's cool to know that they're open to it. Like that was the one thing. I've done a couple Zoom calls with them, and they're open to wanting to make their product better. So I think it's just about the users, right? For us to be able to tell them like, yo, this is better. We can make this better right here, or they're doing this over here. We got to bring this into, you know. So that's all.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you produce a lot of genres, right? And you're very experimental. You get into different bags, different pockets. But like, what is that genre that you think like, you know what? I'm undefeated. Like I feel like every producer has that kind of thing where it's like, you know what, I can do this genre the best.
Yeah, I'm genreless, but I think people, you know, they kind of pin me to the R&B field because I've had so much R&B success. You know, so I guess, you know, if I look at it, if I play the numbers game, then it's definitely going to be R&B. Yeah.
What genre are you working on right now, or something that you're trying out?
I mess with everything, man. I had won my first Latin Grammy this year, 2023. Awesome. I won a Grammy for Sam Smith Stay With Me in 2015 or something like that. I play with all genres, you know. I'm in Nashville and I'm going to Kentucky to work on country music this week. So it's really I'm a musician.
You're versatile.
So I don't really look at genres like that. I just look at like, if anything, I like genre blending. Yeah, and figuring out how to put it all together.
Love
you know
what
I mean? So
getting experimental with it.
Yeah, just have fun, man. It's just music. That's all.
Yeah,
you know,
I love to hear that.
The minute that we think like we're working on music, then we're losing.
Yeah.
Like really, we should be always thinking like, yo, this is just fun. It's almost like having a hobby, and we just get paid for it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just having fun, and this is my sandbox, and I'm just gonna jump in.
For sure, that's awesome.
Yeah.
This is my last question. Top 3 VSTs.
You know, it's funny because it used to be. It started out for me. It was Omnisphere.
Okay.
Right. It was Omnisphere, and then it was Serum. And then I also liked Arturia, but I think Arturia is now like my first go-to.
Oh yeah.
Now. Oh yeah. Like I go to Arturia pretty much for everything. Like I'm weird where like once I like lock into something, I'll kind of lock into just that. For sure. and I don't bounce around too much.
Yeah.
And then if I get bored, I go like Omnisphere. I got bored with it.
Yeah.
And then I stopped using it. Like it's like I don't think I've opened an Omnisphere like for a year or two now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like
That's
I just
crazy.
like I go somewhere else and I'm kind of looking. You know, of course, Contact is just like to me for like my musicality part.
Yeah.
I always seem to go there.
sure.
You know. I also combine a lot of real synths to my stuff.
So
I
Moog, Prophet.
have the Prophets. I have Moogs. I have probably like 20, 30 keyboards, synthesizers, and I have Mellotrons, and I have Fender Rhodes, and I have B3s. I have so much. I have real piano. So a lot of times I'll use my VSTs, but then I also do a lot of overdubs with some of the real stuff.
Dope. Awesome. That's awesome. I'm right now involved, like engrossed in Output Arcade. That's my thing. Like
Okay.
I've been just using that.
One of my producers, Jack Lawson, he messes with that as well.
Yeah.
I think he uses it a lot for like the vocal.
Yeah,
vocal
the
stuff.
vocal things. I love
Yeah.
doing that and then sample chopping on it. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, man, Rodney, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, man.
We appreciate
Thank
your
you
time at Fazbreak.
Thank you for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
And we look forward to everything you're doing and contributing to this space.
Yeah, man. I think there's a partnership that we can create with myself and Fazbreak and what you guys are doing. I think it's really cool, and I want to, like I said, I want to support anybody who's doing things in this space and needs any type of help. I want to help everybody go to another level somehow and be involved with that. So
For sure.
Thank you for our conversations and the whole Fazbreak crew, the whole Fazbreak team.
Let's go.
Your boy Darkchild is here. And
Yes, sir.
let's get it.
It's the best interview. I'm so
Let's get
happy
it.
right now. Thank you very much. It's a wrap. It's about Opto Music. This has been Fazbreak. Peace.